Flow state is a state in which you lose the track of time and everything else around you. The task that you are doing perfectly matches your skills and you enjoy the activity you're doing right now. The biggest benefit from it is that you usually do 400 up to 500% more than if you wouldn't be focused. My personal experiences with flow state are quite good, to be honest. Every time I read and I was in flow state, I found reading fun. Every time I was doing my homework and I was in flow state, I would do it much faster and easier. Every time I would be in flow state while recording a YouTube video, I would do it easier with less effort and it would be funny. And that is kind of the biggest advantage or benefit from flow state. Working becomes fun and I want you to experience joy while working, just like me, by following the next tips. Tip number 1. No distractions. It's quite a no-brainer, to be honest. Get rid of all the things that will interrupt your flow state or your focus overall. If your siblings, for example, talk so loud that you are being interrupted from the task that you're doing, then say them to be quiet or just put some headphones on and listen to music. And find a place that nothing comes into your visual field, and just remember, something that suddenly moves steals your attention, just like it did right now. Now the second advice of mine is to know the task that you are doing before coming into flow state, or figuring it out in less than 5 or optimally 2 minutes. The reason for that is if you spend too much time in figuring out what the task is, you are going to use quite much energy of your brain, and then when you want to actually focus on doing the task, you won't have that much energy. So prepare the task beforehand. Then you gotta love the task. I think you actually heard a quote that goes, if you're good at doing something that you hate, how much better would you be at something that you actually like? And now comes one advice of mine that is really, really important. That the task that you are doing is on the limit of your capabilities. It shouldn't be too easy because you will feel bored, but it shouldn't be too difficult because then you will be overwhelmed and won't really be able to focus because, man, you can't do that. So if you, for example, have one difficult task, then create 2 that are easier, that are on that line where your skills are on. Now I got to talk about something that isn't that really to implement: your attention span. Our attention span nowadays is quite horrible and short. The reason for that is the short form content like YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, or TikTok. Because every time you use one of those apps, you just watch a video for half a second and then scroll another one and then another one. It has bad effects on your attention span. It would actually be better to, for example, read, because reading for your brain is exercise for your body and it's going to improve your attention span by so much. And meditation. Meditating is nothing else than focusing on your breath, losing the focus and realizing it and then focusing on it again, which is quite important for focus because, to be honest, even I sometimes forget my focus and then realize that I don't even think about the task and then I gotta focus on it again. Now we are gonna talk about a topic that many people neglect: recovery. Recovery does not mean that you do something that is relaxing. Watching TikTok or playing video games or playing even on a piano that seems harmless is not a good way to recover, because you need to think or consume, or you need to actually kind of use your brain. There are, however, other ways to recover, like, for example, do exercise, have a quick nap that durates kind of 30 minutes. You can also have a breath work, like box breathing or meditating. And the Most common thing for flow state is if you're focused for 60 up to 120 minutes, then you gotta take a break that optimally durates 30 minutes. If you, for example, focus for just 20 minutes or 25 minutes, you can take a short break that durates 5 minutes. However, if you take for 25 minutes 4 times in a row, then you gotta afterwards take a long break that durates 30 minutes. And the last thing is flow state routine. Have your own routine, like kind of trigger that forces you to focus. Michael Phelps, for example, always follows the same routine before Olympic Games. He always listens to the same music, stretches the same way, and just does everything the same way every time because he gets into flow state. You can have your own routine or trigger just like Michael Phelps. What I do is listen to the same music. Music became a trigger to focus. The music that I listen to when getting into flow state is Mozart. Basically classical music. You could work in silence too, but the problem is if you, for example, are working home and your siblings are talking loud, you can't really work in silence anyway. So I would generally recommend to listen to music in headphones, and you will have your own routine and won't be able to be distracted. Alright, take care of yourself and your focus. Watch this video. Check my free coaching calls in the video description and do the things that you'll be proud of tomorrow.